This is Tom Biernacki, and today I'm talking about osteoporosis. We're going to go over what it is, all the best home treatments, all the best supplements, all the things you need to be doing, and all the mistakes you're making. So stick around to the end and make sure you kick osteoporosis in the butt. Osteoporosis is a medical condition characterized by the weakening of the bones. The bones are made up of 75% minerals: calcium, calcium phosphate, magnesium, and about 25% collagen. Collagen is the soft, wavy, flexible part. Minerals make up 75%. That's that ceramic, hard, rock-like part. At age 25, we reach our peak bone density, and then it drops off a cliff. It's said that people over 65 or postmenopausal women, about 1/4 develop osteoporosis. 35 million people in the United States. Weak bones, weak joints, weak muscles. This leads to a ton of problems. And this is referred to as the silent disease because it progresses gradually without any signs until you develop significant bone problems that are very difficult to recover from. It is most common in the hip, spine, and wrists. Osteoporosis is usually asymptomatic until a fracture or joint pain develops. Stress fractures, if you have ball of the foot pain, heel pain, ankle pain, this could be an early stress fracture developing. Stress fractures in your spine could lead to loss of weight, back pain, hunched posture. Hip fractures can result in severe pain, immobility, the need for hip replacements. The primary cause of osteoporosis is bone remodeling. So you have three types of cells. Fibroblasts make up the collagen, so that's 25% of our bone. That's very important. But most of the treatments we're going to talk about focus on the mineral content as well. But essentially you have cells called osteoblasts. I like to think about them as blasting new bone. Osteoclast eat the bone and put calcium back into your bloodstream. So osteoblasts build it up, osteoclasts break it down. A lot of medications like bisphosphonates target osteoclasts, so they stop it from chewing down the bone. But what we want to do is we want to build it up naturally and stop it from breaking down naturally. The biggest risk factors for osteoporosis include aging, hormonal changes, specifically postmenopausal women. And some of the treatments are actually estrogen replacement for menopause. Deficiencies, so not enough sunlight, vitamin D, and a few other things. We're going to talk about those. And what kind of tests are there for osteoporosis? The most common one is called the DEXA scan, or bone density testing. This is the most common one. It uses values that are reported as a T-score, so it compares healthy people of age to essentially someone with osteoporosis. There's also other ones called the fracture risk assessment. There's blood tests that can check calcium, vitamin D levels, magnesium levels. There's also other tests like bone marker tests. I don't really get into those. Maybe the DEXA scan. I work with a great endocrinology group that does this. And what's osteoporosis versus osteopenia? Osteoporosis on the test is basically really bad bone loss. Osteopenia is just somewhat bad bone loss. So obviously there's more osteopenia, and that's just determined on the tests. Let's go over the treatment. There's tests with monoclonal antibodies. These can prevent bone resorption. These are newer ones. There's anabolic drugs. There's steroids that can essentially be used to build up the bone. These are the good steroids, not the glucocorticoids. You want to eat proper nutrition and supplements. Specifically, the single most supplement and nutritional component is vitamin D. I could talk about this for half an hour, and I do. I talk about the vitamin D toxicity, the best vitamin D foods, the big mistake people are making with vitamin D. It is about 78% deficient. The recommended amounts are probably a lot lower than studies show we need. Vitamin D is probably the single most important thing. And vitamin D essentially takes calcium and puts it into your bloodstream. It helps your body retain it and prevent it from leaving the body. It's been said that if you take calcium supplements but not enough vitamin D, your calcium will just leave your body. Your body will not signal to retain it. But if you're getting enough vitamin D, you hardly need any calcium at all, and it will retain in your blood and go into your bone. You also want to look at vitamin K2. So vitamin K2 is a newer one. I've made a lot of videos about this. Vitamin K2, there's no specific recommendations. It's different than vitamin K1. It's recommended to get about 120 to 200 micrograms in most studies. Vitamin K2 is very important to work with vitamin D. Generally, this is found in fermented foods and beans like natto, sausages, different types of meat. But as we eat more processed foods, we're mostly deficient in vitamin K2. Levels are lower than ever, and it stops that calcium from going into the bone. Essentially, vitamin K2 takes that calcium from your blood into the bone, whereas vitamin D puts it into the bloodstream in the first place. So vitamin D gets it into the blood, and K2 gets it into the bone. Check out my video on vitamin K2 and all the recommendations and mistakes people are making. Magnesium. Magnesium is another huge one. Magnesium is in the bone, but it's also found in a lot of supplementary pathways. Specifically, the hormones that regulate high or low calcium levels require magnesium. The parathyroid hormone and parathyroid gland needs a high level of magnesium. And then magnesium is important to actually make vitamin D. You can't make vitamin D if you're severely deficient in magnesium. It's important in that pathway. And then omega-3 fatty acids. While it doesn't directly put the minerals into the bone, a lot of studies show that omega-3 levels, if supplemented, can gradually improve bone strength and quality and work well with vitamin D. And the single most important thing you want to do for your osteoporosis is strength train. You have to load your bones. This is the single most important thing. And this involved bone strength. People who strength train, and this is simple stuff like doing Pilates, wall push-ups, air squats like this. I'm not saying going to lift heavy weights, but even going on walks qualifies as strength training. Anything that loads your joints with body weight, strength training is unbelievably important. And that means getting up, moving around. It's that easy. You don't need to do any secret remedies. It's getting enough nutrients to build up those calcium building blocks, that mineral matrix, making sure you get enough collagen in your diet, make sure you get enough protein. Supplement with protein as well. That will strengthen your bones. And then you got to load those bones. So whether you're doing cardio or specifically strength training, that will get it better. If that still doesn't do it, check with an endocrinologist, get your DEXA scan, get your quality scanned, and look at specifics. Maybe you have osteoporosis because you're going through menopausal changes. Maybe you have hormonal changes. Maybe you're on steroids. You got to look at all these health conditions. Smoking, alcohol, you got to cut those things out. Correcting those issues will make a big difference. Hey, guess what? We have a phenomenal book. I believe this is the premier book on chronic nerve pain and peripheral neuropathy pain on the planet. I've put years of work seeing tens of thousands of peripheral neuropathy patients, working with some of the best diabetic endocrinologists, the best doctors, the best neurologists in building out this book. For you, my viewers, we have a discount code available. Get on our mailing list and get that book down here.